Good evening, our beautiful audience tonight. Sorry for coming on a little bit past 7, but sometimes in studios you have to do some adjustments, and so great to be here. Welcome to the Issues Room. Tonight is our 258th broadcast, and again we say thank you to all of you who continuously coming here to join us night by night when we show up here on Tuesdays and Fridays. However, our broadcast time going to change again. We just want to quickly remind you that it will be changing. uh you know Come September 15th, we'll go Sunday once a week, 3 o'clock in the afternoon here in America and 7 p.m. in Liberia. Again, please be reminded that this month on the 15th, our first broadcast on Sunday will begin at 3 p.m. So tune in because we're going to be going once a week. So we just want to remind you about that. All right. So welcome again. I'm Volcano Shelton here with you. We'll be joined shortly by Moses Sandy. Hopefully Alphonso will join us. But tonight we're going to have, conversations around so many things. I have jotted some things down. We're going to look at some very pertinent issues continue to plague our country. And all of these kinds of things not going to help that country. Whether Joseph Boyka, whether whoever else comes, it's not going to help the country. It starts with us. It starts with us. We, the Liberian people. I continue to say this. No one is building Rwanda. The Rwanda we're talking about, no one is building it. It's not strangers that are coming from outside, putting systems in place, following the rule of law, adherence to policies and shrinking government size, but creating the private sector. It's not happening by outsiders. It's happening by Rwandans. In the Ghana we're talking about, where our officials of government, those who are privileged to stealing the country's money, can run tour. Ghana is not being transformed by foreigners. They go there and they see it and they talk about it when they come back, but they come back and give our economy to corruption. They give our economy to foreigners because they're getting kickbacks and putting money in their pocket. Many of the other nations on earth are not built by foreigners, it's built by the citizens. Why can Liberia do this for itself? So we're going to talk this from now to Judgment Day. Moses, welcome. I don't
Thank
care
you.
until Liberians know their value. And I wrote something down here. I said most Liberians are just a bunch of stupid people. And
No, man, don't say that. No, you've
Moses,
been too strong, Volcano.
I said most Liberians
Oh,
are a bunch of stupid people that don't know their values. And I'm being right. I don't care how you put it. Because you cannot have a value in your country. You are a citizen in your country and you take your entire economy and give it to foreigners. You
mhm.
take all your natural resources and you put in the hands of criminals with no social corporate responsibility to the communities that they're pillaging, they're digging up. You gotta be stupid, Moses. There's no euphemism about it. And I came here prepared tonight to talk about this because it heist to the very core. Where is this country going? From one leadership to the next, from one leadership to the next. This won't come, this won't go. This won't come, this won't go. We're still in this quagmire. We're still stuck in this mess. It got to be a bunch of stupid people that are creating this problem. And it's not coming from foreigners, it's coming from a bunch of stupid Liberians. And you know it. You know it.
Yeah, absolutely right. Volcano is indeed a sad situation. Uh, when people are building our hopes, and when you look around, the hopes of the people begin to, dissipate because people that they entrust with the leadership of the country, they come with this whole concept of succeeding personally. They are not concerned about the good of the country, the well-being of their people. It's just so sad. The issue of corruption in Liberia is so pervasive. It's one administration after another. And people are determined to do everything they can to undermine the rule of law, to sustain the habit. This is sad. But hey, people, I know I didn't say hi, but I
But
want to say it's a pleasure being here.
yeah, but Moses,
Yeah.
when Alexander Cummings talks about insanity, the process of doing the same thing over and over, that is not insanity. That acute stupidity. No, no, no. Seriously, that's
Yeah.
acute stupidity. I'm gonna just add my part. Acute stupidity, because it means then you went to school for nothing.
Yeah. Not thinking
Insanity
right.
means something where man lost his intelligence. He's crazy, right? But
Yeah.
stupidity means that you got some degree of understanding, but you just dumb. You just a fool. How can you take your country and give it to foreigners? And these people are digging all over the place. Even your black sand, you don't know the value. You got so-called students from the geologist department at the University of Liberia. You take your own Liberian and make them geologists from LU. You pay them so well, but they don't even know when they see diamond. Put diamond in your hand, they don't know it. Eh? They don't even they just send out the lens mines and lens. No, I mean mines and
And
energy now
yeah.
for things to come on the lap instead of doing exploration, instead of knowing what the resources are, instead of going out around the country checking on these people and say, but wait a minute, my man, why are you in the areas for this long? What have you done in this era? Look at it, the creeks and the rivers around our villages being polluted, being destroyed by these evil foreigners who don't have any desire to help Liberia and Liberians, but just come to steal. That's stupidity to give your country to foreigners. And we got to start with this conversation tonight because it will lead us into the other things, and I will share with you why I think that this should be the starting point, because we are creating this problem for ourselves, continuously creating this problem for ourselves. We put people in the House of Representatives who can barely read and write, and they can't put for anything, and then they get rich overnight, building their own personal wealth, building universities, and taking money from the government a budget through the Ministry of Education to support the private entity. Isn't that witchcrafting?
Of course.
Isn't that wickedness? Isn't that deceitful to your people? Then you claim to represent them. But take, for example, all of these people are not building their wealth in their very constituency. They are building their wealth outside of their constituencies because they don't want to have ties to those places.
But
Let,
people know that they are there for a limited time.
let Bill Toy show me the school he built in River G.
River says. Same River says.
Yeah, River says, sorry, I keep saying River G. There are two rivers now.
Yeah.
You tell me.
Hmm. I mean, look, it's a sad situation for Canada. You talk about the Ministry of Energy, lands, mines, or whatever. Uh, the the reason why they have inspectors at that ministry is to ensure that people are in the field, tracking, monitoring the mining activities of companies. But Liberia again being what it is, Volcano, you send the people up country to inspect creeks or inspect mining areas. The man gets there, the Lebanese man, I'm not trying to put Liberians against Lebanese. The man gets there, say the owners,
Just the,
not just say the owners.
the
The
foreign.
man gets there, he meets with the owners, and they say, "Oh, my man, let's have a conversation." They call the man in. Oh, how many of you? Oh, we are 10. Okay, my man, did you say we should give you this? Hypothetically, $1,000. They are contented. They look the other way.
And you know why? Do
Why?
you know why?
Why?
Here's the why. And that's the why we're going to talk about salary disparity in that country.
Of
You pay
course.
foolish people $15,000 doing nothing, and the man who's supposed to go and inspect and protect your country resources, Alfonso, your life, to protect your country resources, he's being paid chicken change or peanut
Yeah.
money. Why
Mhm.
wouldn't he be corrupt?
Yeah.
If you're the one who making the big salary and making the law to befit yourself, when it comes for you to show proof, you said I wish home. But the poor
Yeah.
man who going out there to inspect, when he see $1,000, that's 5 times the salary. or
Yes,
6 times his salary, he's not going to take it.
of course, man. Well, the
Let,
first law of nature is
let me
self-preservation. You
practically,
never take it. Yeah.
let me practically in a
I mean, you're being honest. Yeah,
yeah,
you know.
in a superpower today. You
Yeah.
think if policemen were making $50 a month in America, no, that take cold water.
The man will do it and go by.
That take cold water.
But look, man, Alfonso, maybe you want to mute because we're hearing the noise from your cooling system. Yeah,
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
go ahead.
it sounds good.
So I just wanted to put that there because that's where the issue coming. Pay the people well, then they won't be corrupt when they go on the field.
Yeah, if we can just underscore the word well, basically what we're seeing here is pay the people salaries that are commensurate with the cost of living in the country. Salaries that are commensurate with the skills they bring. You bring up Volcano Shelton with, say, 20 years of leadership experience, and you want a man to be the head of the inspectorate, and you say, "Oh, my man, I will pay you $200." Of course, Volcano will not be honest because he has so much responsibilities. $200 will not pay him well. But pay the man, give the man a salary that would make this man not to be vulnerable. And that's what we don't do. Take, for example, you have people sitting at the Liberia Telecommunication Authority.
Just I like the word sitting.
Yeah,
They're sitting.
yeah, basically sitting there, yeah. People taking home ten thousand
15
dollars,
grand.
$15,000 a month, and at that very LTA, you got people who work there as janitors, barely taking home $100 a month. Look at that disparity, Volcano. How do you expect these people to be honest? The Minister of Energy, let's say he makes about hypothetically $10,000 a month. The man who they sending in the field to check on the miners, to check all those creeks where mineral resources are being mined. The man struggles to even go. The man does not have a bicycle. They pay the man maybe $100 a month. How do you expect this man to be honest? So, like you said, Volcano, um, we do the same thing repetitively but expecting different results. We need to get to the core of the issue, address the issue. If you pay people well, you hold them accountable, you make sure that those people are what? Producing. How do you get somebody $100,000 a year when a man can only sit on a computer all day and have fun and call friends in America, basically doing nothing? You don't see no productivity. But the man is earning $100,000 a year. And while the people who are actually doing the most difficult jobs are earning $75 a month. Volcano, how do you deal with that? That's the problem we have in our country. That's why the problem of corruption, remains uncontrolled. I can tell you, unless we begin to pay attention to some of the key issues that are giving rise to the pervasiveness of dishonesty in the public sector, Volcano, corruption will stay with Liberia, my brother. You can have a change in leadership from now to tomorrow, from now to judgment day, as we often say. You will see how problem with graft in our country because we are not attending to the needs of people. We are not attending to the needs of the technocrats. We call them foolish people. We label them. We say, oh, they are nobody. And you got one man. You pay the man rent. Look at the guys at LTA. They got uh, housing allowance monthly. I am told it's 1,200.
And that's why people need to declare assets.
But the people declare the assets till the
Yes,
government gave them,
yeah.
the government gives them.
So,
How
okay.
you volcano, you live in your own house. I live in my own house. I pay for my vehicle. You pay for your vehicle.
Yeah, in
All
America,
the people give us is what? Salary. You gotta live within your salary. But in Labrador, they will give you one little title. They pay your they give you money for what they call housing allowance. Like the guys at the LTA, they give you housing allowance. They give you free gasoline. They give you scratch card, and they pay you thousands of dollars. And the people who are actually doing the work are paid little or nothing. Let me stop there.
yeah, Alfonso, welcome.
Yeah, exactly. No, you guys hit the nail right on the head. I don't know if there's anything else I can really add as it relates to, the fact that civil servants, the civil service runs the government. The civil service runs the country basically. It runs. Those are the people who have the know-how, the expertise, not the political appointees. Unfortunately, in Liberia, our civil service is not regarded. Our
No,
civil service is not supported. We even go in and remove civil servants and replace them, with politicians, and replace them with people who are supportive of us. Uh, Even though they might not even know the job, they might not have the expertise to do the job. So based upon that, the civil service in Liberia is very weak. The civil service in Liberia is not supported. So you have people either not doing their jobs or engaging in corruption, as you all said, because they're also not supported, not paid enough, engaging in corruption just to get by. Um, of course, if you get a policeman or $50, 100, $200, and he goes in the street and his wife and kids don't, he doesn't have food to feed his wife and kids, he can't pay their tuition, and somebody offers him something, he's tempted, or she is tempted to take it. And that makes it difficult for you to enforce the law and hold them accountable. And so, yes, the civil service in Liberia is weak, and instead we take the money and give it to the politicians. And that's basically what our problem is. And I
yeah.
believe you guys have hit the
Let me set the
nail on the
tune here. Let's get where the conversation starts tonight. And I want you to please share the show. This conversation is going to be great. So please share the show. Nathaniel Logan, share the show to your audience, to your friends. Thomas Awaji, please do that for us. Hashim Famule, Flomo Livingstone, don't just come here and be stingy. Share the show. Honest Sumo, share the show. This show not for your one. Mandy's bought you for the first time. Welcome to the Issues Room. This is the place to be where we discuss the things that matter to Liberia. It's Alfonso, Moses Sandy, and myself, Volcano Shelton. We're here Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we'll go Sunday once a week because, man, honestly, I think once a week will give us, clear head. Because when you come here to talk about Liberia problem, but man, some nights when I leave from here, I just got bad headache. Just the fact that the way I want to talk to the people like Prophet Key, I can't do it because we are journalists.
No, you can't do
Yeah,
that.
no,
Yeah,
seriously,
we're behind you.
people like Prophet Key, I can't do
We
it
bring Prophet Kitoya, we're behind you, my man.
because some of the people deserve what Prophet Key does to them. I'm telling you the truth. Moses, the thing is, like when they say somebody rolling in the grave and they can't get up because God said at one time you will die, like, hey, it's over. You can't come forward, you can't do anything. That's what happened to Liberia.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to say here.
Mhm.
The public sector of our country after the Civil War, and I wouldn't call Charles Taylor government a government that was supported. It was just an operation that he did for the 5.5 years, just operated because it wasn't a government respected, honored, accepted. The Liberian people put it there, but the world didn't care for it. So let's take it up. Then we had an interim government. Let's take it up. But let's start with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the darling woman who made herself a global icon, who appeased the international community, who drew the best support, the highest peacekeeping mission in the world in the history of the United Nations. The country's debt was waived, starting from scratch. Here comes this madame, brought in a government that she pretended to lay some people off and then bloated the government. But not only that she bloated the government, she overpaid people, knowing that the country was resurrecting. They did not do what they were to do for the young people in terms of mobilization, rehabilitation, all of that, giving them skills and employing them to make them useful citizens and to contribute to the society. What did she do? Peace be to some of the ashes, the Florence Chinaway, the Miata Best, all these old man and herself, all her best friends. Then she brought all of them, made them ministers, paid them big money. Her boyfriend children, her husband children, her whatever children. I just calling it. My man, listen, I came here tonight to fight for
Cause trouble, eh?
Liberia. Just made all the people and paid them all kinds of money, brought all kinds of people to Liberia. All the money that was coming in the country, people taking duffel bags. Most of the people then bought houses in this country. The very Amarakone who today pretending to be a man of moral rectitude owns a house here that he paid cash for. Let people argue it. There's no secret. All these people, they bought big houses. What did they do? Created no job. And they knew that the government was the major employer in the country. The major employer. So instead of paying these people this lofty salary that she set the tune with, they could have spread the wealth. Like in America, they say spread the wealth. Even the people in the downtrodden masses of the country got something to take home. But no, they all sat over it for her 12 years and enjoy and bask in the glory and in the adulation and the admiration from the international community, pretending like she was doing something. Oh, yes, because she didn't want the world to come back to know that she screwed our country up. What she did, she gave it to George Weah. So all the blame could shift to that young man who said he was pronouncing ignoradus and deperation, all kind of stuff, right?
CDC brother will come for you.
I'm setting the tune, right? So then, and this is something I have thought about. So what happens here? Young men that come to power too, the Jefferson Koji, all these guys who didn't see money, what did they do? They sat on it, but they padded the payroll to bring some of the partisans because why? They were in the trenches with them. And that's what they did. So if the government is the biggest employer, then you can't pay people with a vast disparity of salaries and leave the downtrodden masses to rot. Pay people decent, but then spread our wealth down the road. Why should Money Captain make $20,000 a month for giving Morovia darkness? Why? Why should LTA and board of commissioners and whoever and directors, whatever you want to call them, make $50,000? Why? Why are they? What are they bringing to the country? So this is where this conversation is going to start from. Let's start with the era of the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, knowing that government was the major employer in the country, but overpaid people and leaving the ordinary people to rot. Let's start from there. Why don't you think that corruption will become pervasive? Why don't you think that corruption will have grown roots based on that kind of disparity? Let's start from there, gentlemen. Since Alphonso came in last, if you want to
come in, Alphonso.
Coming. Let's start from there.
Yeah, definitely. And if you heard, unfortunately, I think Mistress Sirleaf had a real great opportunity.
I call it a golden opportunity.
Yeah, to turn things around in that country in terms of fighting corruption. She was elected by the people. It wasn't unlike previous governments. It wasn't, she wasn't appointed by warring faction leaders. So she was not sharing power. She was the real first elected president, post-war elected president of the country. So she really could have set the tone in that country in terms of putting the country on, on solid foundation, fighting against corruption, building, democracy, building the civil service, and etc. She did some good things, but generally, particularly the fight against corruption, the fight, and institutionalization of accountability, she failed in that regard. In fact, on numerous occasions, she said, "Oh, for the sake of peace and whatever, blah blah blah," and which was wrong, because you don't build peace by cheating other people. You don't build
Nobody
peace.
was going to go back to war. The people were
Exactly.
fatigued. We had the biggest peacekeeping force. So why were we going back to war? What peace
Yeah.
is going to be seen?
Yeah. So yeah, she did not uh, take full advantage of that opportunity, and I think that's what Omen Boakai, when he were explaining and said we squander some opportunities, that's what, according to him, he meant. So that's true. A lot of opportunities were squandered under the Salif administration when it comes to really, as I said, rebuilding, because there was an opportunity to rebuild the government and the country and put structures in place, and we failed at that. And once we failed without a foundation, it becomes difficult for anybody else coming to, that's why I think this government is struggling today. They have to now go back and build a foundation. After several years of governance, you got to go. The thing we're talking about now, of people at these various corporations making all of these huge amounts of money, it actually originated from there,
Yeah.
from the Salif administration. Although we should say that part of the huge salary thing was actually, it came from the UN supporting the government and certain government officials and certain government offices. So there was the talk tank program supported, I believe, by UNDP, where they wanted to repatriate Liberian experts back to the country, and so they were paying them huge salaries to encourage them to go back. Now, other government officials saw it and they said, "Oh, we want this amount of money too." And I think Mr. Salif just went and dished it out to them. Legislators saw it and
Let me,
started
let me
passing budget and giving them so huge amount of money.
so
So
let me
we are now left with this cancer that needs to be dealt with.
so let me just add this in quick.
Hmm.
But then if that was the case, then it was cronyism. Because if the United Nations says send me the names of people that we're going to pay well, then Ellen decided who she wanted to send. They didn't
Yeah,
create an opportunity for Liberians in the diaspora where they set up a diaspora office. That was one of the things we talked about, so that Moses Sandy could go in with his experts in his expertise rather in social services. I could go with my expertise in human services. Do you know how much the combined instruments of Moses and myself to do for rehabilitation?
Yeah.
yeah. So
They,
I what? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
they
Mhm,
insulated that process to
mhm.
pay their children, to pay their friends, to pay the people closer to them. And that is what I want us to make clear.
Yeah.
But she had a deeper hand in it.
So I wouldn't say that they did not do what you are claiming, but what I would say is that part of it too was that you had to apply directly to the UNDP or to other agencies, and then they interview and vetted people and then selected people. For instance, former Auditor General was selected under that program. Many other people were selected under that program. So it wasn't done directly or exclusively through the government or by the government, but by these supporting institutions. Does that mean that they didn't put their own people
Hey,
through? They
that's
didn't
what
give their
that's
own
what
people
I was just
information?
about to talk about.
No, no. No. Maybe they did. I just don't want to claim it because,
Yeah.
as you said, if they had a diaspora office, maybe that would have helped to spread the information to more and more people instead of just a few people knowing about that program. So to that extent, you're right. But yeah, and then when legislators saw some ministers and some directors making thousands of dollars. They say, "Oh, we'll not pass the budget until our salary goes up to this stage." And then she agrees and signs the budget with those salaries. And they did that every year until now. They're making 15, $17,000 a month, plus vehicle, plus housing allowance, plus gas, free gasoline,
Big gas,
plus
yeah.
everything.
Mhm.
Come here,
Yeah.
Moses.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have said it already. Salif administration set a real bad
Bad
precedent.
precedent.
Yeah, and that is what happening today. Can you imagine the former commissioner general at the Maritime during Salif administration was earning $30,000 a month in a very poor country?
Yeah, bien Kesali.
Yeah, Cassidy earned $30,000 a month. In a year, the guy earned $360,000.
That's just the salary. We're
Just
talking
the salary. We're not talking about other benefits here, just salary. And this is a country where when you go down West Point, the people don't even have safe drinking water. Isn't that preposterous? Like you said, Volcano? Because we do all these silly things, then we say we're doing good, but what we are doing affecting our life in a negative way, and we do the same thing over and over, over and over. Today in Baka administration, what sense does it make to have somebody sitting at the telecommunication authority earning $15,000 when the Ministry of Information has only one vehicle? All the deputies, no assigned vehicle. The least pay at the Ministry of Information, I'm told now, is like $150. You have people at other government ministries that earn $60 a month. And you got people sitting at LTA. You got people at the National Port Authority earning thousands of dollars. You have people sitting at the LPRC earning thousands of dollars, basically doing nothing. The LPRC, basically what they are doing, they just have storage. They have storage for fuel. We're not producing crude, we're not refining. People bring in the gasoline, they carry to LPRC. LPRC has a facility that provides what? Storage, and those companies pay fees. So why should a managing director at the LPRC be earning, more than $10,000 a month? How do you justify that?
so
How do
Moses,
you explain that? Yeah.
so as I was saying, so earlier is the reason for the high unemployment rate in that country. She did minimally in the 12 years to strengthen the employment sector, which would have empowered many of the Liberian people.
Mhm.
Because if they had aligned the salaries in ways rather, that would have kind of,
Yeah.
spread the wealth, then we won't have this vast degree of poverty in the country.
Mhm.
So then after 12 years of continued acute corruption, because she knew what she's done, she decided to hand deliver the country to Mr. Weir.
Yeah.
The Liberian people
And he
resolved
just took it down. Yeah.
the young boy would do well.
Mhm.
But he had his own motive. He had boys who didn't see money, who were living in one room. Before the people even went to the inauguration, they were already buying houses already.
You know.
Moving out.
Why I'm laughing so hard, Volcano?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Volcano, I'm thinking about it. Make your question for. You say that day, you reminded me about a local organization, right? Somebody elected to the leadership. Before even taking over, the person started dispensing money. A lot of men Liberians are interesting set of people. Go ahead, my man.
Yeah, so Emmanuel Vakwe is seeing the governments coming after EJS are residual effects over 12 years.
Of
All you
course.
have to set up the field. But a long way to socio-economic healing. Not now, unfortunately. Damn it, you're right. And that's what I'm saying. There is no foundation. The foundation for employment to strengthen our economy was based on the 12 years of Ellen Johnson's leave and the fact that she minimally did anything to help that sector of our economy. That is why we have a disparity between the haves and the have not. And this is bad for us. So then the payroll pattern we're talking about here, and I'm pushing us to the next segment here, how to take place because the downtrodden masses of the CDC don't begin and you see, and now you say, yo, and I say, look, man, need something to do too. You know what it means to be out there behind Joe, we are, Joe, we are, Joe, we are, Joe, we are, Jose, and you get nothing. Don't say beginning are going to go to that party headquarters and pour fire on the roof. So I get and look at it and say, my man, we just put him in anywhere we can put it. Whether they go to work or whether they go to work. However, then they decide I will play his son. Then they decide to go to the kingdom of Crookery. So they decide to go to the dungeon. No, he used the word dungeon. The dungeon.
Yeah, is it better about to go to the dungeon?
My girl then decided to go to the dungeon of Crookery. I say, all right, we pay Moses sending $1,000 on the salary. We gave him buck.
We get in there, bug out there. Why did that sounding for 1 GO?
And then we put an hour in our pocket. So all that payroll party, it was not even beneficial in the context of what they wanted to do. So here we are. Someone says we got to fight corruption no matter what. The cleaning up of the public sector payroll by the CSA for salary reform and to ensure that people are really working and deserve what they're working for, it becomes the story of witch hunt. Today we hear the Ministry of Information is being accused of terminating people from the salary or from the payroll rather from the ministry. Let's talk about this. We're talking about here. How do we fix this bad foundation that was created in the last 12 years to the last 6 years to the combined 18 years if we don't start with payroll reformation, cleaning up, and making sure some of those men who they padded the payroll way deserves to be there if they are working assiduously to justify themselves. And I will give this one quick example and leave it to you too. When you're a coach and you take over a football team that is losing so badly, what do? You justify your inclusion as a player to be on that starting lineup. We're starting all over. Come here, we're going to go through practice. Show me your midfielder, show me your defender, show me your goalkeeper. And then we select a team from there. And I think the payroll reformation process, right, to make sure we weed all the bad apples and keep the good apples is the way to go. So now they're aligning it with the whole idea that all the guys who are seeing in IEC should stay in position no matter what and be absorbed irrespective of them working or not working. But here's the interesting thing. The salary, according to the CSA that they gave those guys, not going in their pocket, but they were going in somebody else's pocket.
Yeah.
I'll bring it to y'all. What you see? Go ahead.
So the two things for payroll party, and you kind of touched them. So the first thing is they put a lot of names on the payroll. They bloat the bureaucracy. Maybe in an office that's supposed to have 2 or 3 people, they put 10 people there. If they actually were trying to absorb their followers into jobs, that's one way it could have been done. The other way could have been, it probably was done, is they just put ghost names on the payroll, but the money goes to them. So they don't actually have people in those positions who are receiving the money. The money is instead going into their pockets. So that's the two ways it could have been done. And maybe it was done both ways in some cases. That is the reason why what the CSA is doing now, going on site and asking people to come to verify themselves or asking people to bring their IDs, because I think they put a process in place where people were being paid through the bank. So
That's
now
what I
where
have right now.
exactly? So you bring your bank account information, bring your this. So we want to see the record. How many times have you been receiving this payroll? Has it been going into your account, this existing account that was established for you? Where is your ID? Where do you actually work? What work have you done over a period of time? Tell us okay, you bring the papers. Let's see if this person has ever signed in, came to work, whether they ever sign in on an attendance sheet, etc. So these are some of the things that the CIA has put into place. And in many cases, people are not showing up. So that would suggest that it was ghost names on some of those lists, where we're going in some big shot pocket. The money was going some big shot pocket instead of actually absorbing people. But real quickly, before I turn over to you and Moses Volcano, is adding people to government positions. It's not how the government is supposed to create jobs. That's not how governments create jobs. All you're doing is you're just creating a huge bureaucracy that will not be productive. What you do is you create jobs in the private sector. You create incentives for people to start businesses. You create incentives for investors to come, for Liberians to go and invest. You even take some of those Zogos and those young people, who are graduating from school and all of that, and you know, say, okay, we'll give you a loan. Your goal will stand as the guarantee, as the guarantor for you to get a loan. 10 of your open you go open an ice cream place, or you open send your land, mechanic. You went to the mechanic school. Go, will give you the stuff. We'll give you an accountant. We'll give you the support. You'll go and open a mechanic shop, and then pay back the loan. These are some of the ways they could have created jobs for the people, for the thousands of young people who don't have jobs in the country, instead of just adding them to government payroll. Because what you're doing, you're just taking the money and just give. That's why government, the payroll takes over 80%, close to 90% of the whole budget. So no money is left to do anything, to invest in healthcare, to invest in clinics, in schools, and all of that, to build roads, because it's all going into payrolls, and of course gasoline and stuff, and housing benefits for those big shots. So I think that's where Ellen, as you said, brought a lot of investors into the country. But unfortunately, most of the jobs that were created under Ellen were for the quote unquote educated people. So the bunch of the young people were left out. Came, of course, he didn't even bother to create jobs. He just thought employment was to just absorb people into government. And as my brother Vakba said, this government has inherited a residual effect, and is going through this problem, including bloated salaries for everybody. What do you do now? You go and cut people's salaries? It's a challenge that they have to
And I'm
confront.
going to say question, but Moses, let me ask you this question here quick.
Okay.
So why don't we put some kind of policies or benchmarks in place and say these companies that are coming in the country, let's see what you want to do, but you must guarantee us based on the classification system. We can develop the classification system through the CSA by the kinds of job the company going to establish to operate within the confines of the country, right? And
Mhm.
say, all right, you must absorb at least 100 people, 100 Liberians. Whether Indian man opening steel raw store, building material store, whether whoever. But if you go to Liberia today, you'll find the Indian man, bring a man from India. He the one taking the what they call the thing
The inventory.
The
inventory,
inventory of things that you need. Yeah, you go to shop. Yeah.
not the inventory. They got to
All the guys will go,
ask you.
basically sorting out things and bringing them up front, right?
Oh no, the guy who taking your order, put it out.
Yeah, yeah, that's the inventory this guy is talking about.
Yeah,
More or less semi as cashier. Yeah.
yeah. So instead of how many Liberians go to LU studying accounting, go to Stella Maris, go all over the place? Oh, did afraid that Liberian men will steal their money? No, you got to make systems in place. So this is how we can employ, and that's why I say they give people job in our country. They don't know what to do with the job. All they want to go do to steal. No, Flomo Livingston, I don't mean cashier. I'm talking about the person who takes your order when you go to the store and you say you want 10 steel raw, you want this, you want that. But the point I'm making here is, where is Krua, Councillor Krua? Where is the legislature putting laws on the books and say going forward as a reform to move government away from being the sole employer in the country. 100 people must be employed by this business based on its size, 50 Liberians this way, 25 Liberians this way. Even Liberian businesses are opening, you must hire Liberians first before you go outside if you can't find the expertise. Where is that on the books? Why should everybody work for the government of Liberia? How is this country going to go anywhere, Mr. Sandy? How?
But look, Jermaine, our greatest problem is not that there are not laws. There are laws. Take, for example, what you guys talking about falls under the liberalization policy. There are specific, there are category of jobs that the government set aside exclusively for local Liberians. Say someone heading the janitorial department, someone being a driver, those low skill, jobs, jobs that don't require you bringing experts from abroad. And if you don't find Liberians that can do that, then you go abroad. But any job, there are certain jobs you have to recruit locally.
So, Muslim, let
Now,
me just add this quick, then you continue your lane. The
mhm,
Liberian decision policy was done maybe in the 70s, maybe in the 60s.
yeah, but it's the law of the land.
No, no, but stay with me on this now, quick. We have evolved. Moses, do you know how many educated Liberians out there? Why we continue to be disparaging about the illiteracy rate, You think it's the same illiteracy rate from the 1960s to the 70s to the 80s to the 90s now? No. So we can't continue to settle for mediocrity. The Liberianization policy and the job stipulated within that policy should be enhanced to absorb the many hundreds of thousands of educated Liberians. And even if you can't find them locally in Liberia, then you should reach to the diaspora to get some of us to go back home. Because if Moses Sandy wants to go home, he can't go home to go work for government. He should be able to go home to go work in the private sector. That's the point I'm trying to drive here. So we shouldn't be settling for driver and yard ball and water ball and horse ball kind of job.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, but it comes back to what I was saying earlier that our greatest problem is the failure to enforce the laws of the country. I definitely agree with you. I mean, jobs that were allocated for Liberians maybe 30, 40 years ago. Anybody going to the labor ministry now, you have to sit down and review that list and see the level of improvement Liberians are making. Then you say, hey, Estella Mitchell, we need to have a conversation. How many technicians at your company that are Liberians? Oh, we got only 2%. You say, no. Those jobs are for our people.
They ask how many Indian? Then
Yeah, how many Indians? They say, oh, we brought about
no,
30%.
then they're scratching their head first
Yeah,
because they won't
So,
go number.
yeah, so you uh, anyone taking over an institution, you review what is working, what is not working, and then begin to call in people. Now, why is it that our people not doing this? Because the guys are telling me, we're just using Asylum as an example. They go to see the labor minister. The first thing before they get there, they say, "Oh yeah, chief. The boss said we should bring you this envelope." They say, "Oh, we're meeting at this hotel. We're going to pay for the food. We made arrangement for you and your people to spend the evening. Everything at our expense. Are you not compromised? You compromise right there. The
You go
people pay for your food.
you go into room 309.
Yeah, in room 309, they're paying for that, and then you get there, and the people tell you, say, oh, well, right now we got only 3 Liberians, and we got about 50 Indians that are doing a similar job. How are you going to be insistent after the people have already given you a parcel of maybe $50,000? That's our biggest problem. We are constantly taking bribes. Our public officials are compromised, and people in leadership don't hold them accountable. They say, "Oh, you lead the people, man, that only the mayor see." And I would have said, "La bro, When Joe then did that, what did to them? Oh, what's about Ma Ellen when she did her own? You're not telling my girl today. He had the audacity to appear publicly. He said, well, he's willing to go to prison because he recruited Liberians. The people are not forcing with you because he recruited Liberians. People are saying that, hey, we look at the payroll, the numbers not adding up. You say Moses Sandy was making $100 a month. But we saw a check written Moses Sandy need for $1,000. And that check was going consistently, even though you were giving Moses Sandy $100. Come and provide explanation. He said, oh no, I'll get a man job. I was helping the people from Nuclear, helping the people from West Point. That's not an issue. When you pay payroll, you're manipulating salaries of people to benefit you as the employer, or you're manipulating timesheet to benefit you as an employer. If I work 20 hours and you say, oh, my man will take off, but and the hours show that you only work 15 hours, you're partying. You're trying to defraud. You're adding less. And these are all things that Maggie and others have to speak to.
And we'll come
Our
to that.
greatest problem, German, is that our leaders are so compromised. Everyone in there, even in this current administration, people are compromised. People are compromised. And quickly, let me say something about the situation at the Ministry of Information. Volcano,
Let's move that.
yeah,
Let,
quickly. I beg you, quickly. I just want. It's important we're talking about this,
we'll
right?
come to it. That's what I'm saying. Let's just
Oh, okay. All right. When we come there, we'll talk about it in detail.
yeah, we're going to the second.
But our leaders will really, really have to put their feet down, especially at the level of the presidency. For me to hear today that President Bouakai says he has already given the directive to Mr. Ato Masako, who having to be the director of state enterprises and all of that, and for that institution of government to begin to look at the salary scales of state owned enterprises, LPRC, LTAs, and because he's concerned about salaries people are earning, right? Volcano, I'm disappointed. What is the essence of having board of directors? You president, Republic of Liberia, you don't know what is happening at LTA? You don't know what is happening at LPRC? Why pay people $1,000 for board meeting when the chair cannot tell you what is happening at those institutions? You're not in the loop?
That's what I said. We're coming to it now. Hold on.
Yeah.
And you will start the conversation from there.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to quickly let the folks know you're here in the issues room with Volcano, Moses, and Alphonso. We're here Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 11 p.m. in Liberia. However, coming on September 15th, I believe it's 2 Sundays from now, we'll be broadcasting live at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 7 p.m. in Liberia. And at that point, we'll be going once a week. Because again, as I said, when I leave from him, my head can be hurting me because of the Liberian thing. I tired talking the same thing, or I'm the one now being defined as the man who is insane. Because at the end of the day, what impact it is when the people can't hear, when the people remain blind, when the people don't want to change, what impact it is. So Moses, let me just recognize some folks here. Veronica Nimson, thank you for joining us here tonight. Thomas Awaji, of course. Eric Passaway. It's a pleasure having you with us. Christopher Wesley, Flumo Livingstone, John Makori, all the way in Nairobi, Kenya. Emmanuel Vakpe, thank you for joining us. Adiaha Umo, it's a pleasure having you again from Australia. S. Edward Nefor, of course, Nathaniel Logan, thank you for joining us here. Hashem Fambule, of course, at some point we'll open the line. Man and Sumo and Mandis Bachu, thank you for joining us. Continue to invite others to join us here tonight. Moses Sandy.
Yes, sir.
Someone said that the president, they don't believe he's in charge. Within a little close to maybe 5,000 days, the president is not in charge. I mean, in the first few weeks, yes.
Yeah,
At this point, I'm coming. Oh man, where you coming?
yeah, yeah,
Judge said, "Don't worry. You sitting in your race car chair. You will take the highway. Don't worry." The president is not in charge, and there are some indications, like you said.
yeah.
Let me point out some of the indications. And President Bouaga, if you're listening tonight from the foreign world or your people will tell you, so be it. Are your son, are your son. But the same way you let through, I want to tell you the truth tonight. You my deacon, you put your hand on my head. All I want there from Effort Baptist Church. Right, Papi?
Yeah.
Tell me now, how long it will take this LDEA? Because then it tells me I'm in leadership. Oh. We put people on administrative leave. We don't go and do not let them linger.
No.
There must be a timeline to that investigation. There must be action taken. And if you're going to move on, move on. The LDEA is one of the most important institutions right now in your government based on its role within the crime and drug sector in the country to save your young people, to get rid of the ghettos. How long will it take? What politicking is this? That who influencing the other conversation here? Your man baking for the one, that one baking for that one. What kind of trouble is this, Papi? Let tussle. These are symptoms that you're not in charge. Because you can't take decision. You say you put a man on administrative, then you're able to take him from there or fire him or replace him and put him somewhere else. That's one. The second thing here, all the videos are all over the place showing the car and hitching all in the mud. I'm saying sticking, I say hitching. A very well can say the car hitching the mud.
The guy
Right? All I want there.
you said no vehicle will get stuck. Eh?
You see that one to call your public work minister, say, my man, what kind of shame you are bringing to me? They can call over blasting at you and all. They can call over. I can play that video right now. He cussing you all kinds of way because he feel that you lie in your campaign. You are just talking be more and now the be more here. But not only that, not only that, not only that. Many other things happening. Many other things happening. So the people say, you're not in charge, oh. If I were you, Mr. President, I will come back to the country and say, I'm in charge, and these are the things to portray that I'm in charge. However, I'm not on your pace as the president. I need to make sure that when I come with a decision, it is solemn, it is not knee jerk, it's not impulsive, like Moses says, but sorry for the delay in getting back to you people. That's what a president would do and engage. Moses, what do you say? Is the president in charge or he just too slow and this race car has not greased its engine yet? Didn't change the oil, didn't fix the shock absorber or what the caliber, the brakes off, to put on the track.
Or everything,
Or
right?
that race car, I don't know. Tell me, and then Alfonso will take it from there.
But look, I would not want to use that strong word to say that he's not in charge.
But you use it all.
Uh,
Let
oh
me,
yeah, I mean we have was 6 years,
okay, go ahead.
so he demonstrated that consistently.
Let go.
For now, I would say that maybe he need to step out to the place a little bit because, like you said earlier, there are so many indicators that somebody need to step out to the place. If you make me managing director today of any entity, I get there, all the various departments, I will want to read about those departments. I will bring in their heads. We have a conversation. Oh man, what do you do? What is the department? Because coming from outside as a leader, it doesn't mean that you have knowledge about everything. You got to talk to people. So I'm saying this to say that, Mr. President, the essence of having board of directors, having advisors, is for those people to help you learn about the various institutions.
But all they want to do be sitting down to the place that jumping on the plane and going.
Yeah, when they met going somewhere, everybody go and
Behind the
board
scene.
a plane.
Yeah,
You know,
what difference now?
yeah, those people are not really doing their work. Volcano is surprising for the president to say, "Hey, Mr. Ato Mazekwe, I want you to prove this." Yes, it is true that Mr. Mazekwe has the state enterprises and all of those institutions are amenable to him. But Mr. President, don't forget now you have board chairs at all of these institutions.
Listen to Veronica.
Yeah,
Since
yeah.
January peer review, she have been a part of the 100 days plan.
Of course, yes. Mr. Snipson, you're absolutely right. So people should have been there to feed the president with all this information. You said, but my man, the people at LPRC now, how much is that managing director making? How much do they contribute to the economy of this country? Understand that. So that when a man say, oh, well, I need $10,000 per month, then you're making informed decision before you get a permission, say you're paying the $10,000 because that entity contributes, say, $400,000 annually to the economy. So he deserves that. But if you're just throwing people here and there, you don't even know what the institutions are about. That's a problem. That's why people say uh, it's like you are not ready to step up to the plate. I know this is a new job. Like any of us, we go to a new job. It takes us time to settle down, to learn about the institution. But Mr. President, you are gradually, getting to a year. So this is the eighth month. You got 4 more months to go. So you need to correct some of these problems. Is very very important. Um, Another thing I would like to say, I don't know if the time would permit, regarding this salary business and all the pay reporting thing and the
Well, I
CSC.
want to hear from Alfonso too on the
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead. Okay, go
whether
ahead, Alfonso. Yeah.
whether President Baka is in charge because people are already saying he's not in charge. Alfonso, Alfonso, you muted.
So I wouldn't say that the president is not in charge. I think the president is in charge, and I think the president is doing his best. Emmanuel Jackson put it right when he said the infrastructure, we have shredded the entire infrastructure of government in that country, and it will take some time to put it back. So I agree with Mr. Jackson. Plus, I understand the frustration. I understand the anxiety of Liberian people to see things done and done within 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. But I think it's not realistic to expect a total, complete reform of government within 8 months.
No, no,
To
no.
make, yeah. So I think we should be careful about that. I also think that the president asking the chairperson or the director of state enterprises to review salary scales of the state enterprises, it's also a very good thing. In fact, that's what he is supposed to do. That's the job of Mr. Atta Masterquay. And to undertake such a task for a government, a president to undertake such a task within 8 months of coming to power, I think it's commendable. I think it's commendable. We should understand and accept the fact that there were a lot of stuff that were critical and urgent when this president took office that needed to be addressed. Everything could not have been addressed within 6 months of 8 months of
Alfonso,
any administration.
let me
So
provide information
and
for you that will be very helpful.
and
Just a
you don't.
second.
Uh,
Just a second.
okay, go ahead.
The decision to ask Mr. Masekoi,
Mhm,
to begin to look at salary skills of state-owned enterprises.
mhm.
That decision, according to the president, according to the deputy minister of information, was made as a result of media report.
Hmm.
So that means that the president, his board of directors, they had no clue in terms of how much those people were making until media institutions. Yeah, listen.
Not
Yeah, yeah.
necessarily. Not
But but
necessarily.
but for the deputy minister of information to come to say
Hmm.
that the attention of the president has been drawn,
Hmm.
The
it means
media
that the
report.
president didn't, to media report, it
Hmm.
means that the president didn't know.
But the
Nobody
president,
was feeding him with the
well,
information.
but Moses, the president did not have to know. I mean,
Oh,
I don't know how many
what is
presidents in this
but
country.
what
No,
is the
no, no,
essence?
no,
What
no,
is
no,
the
no, no.
essence of
I
having
think it's just
a
no,
bold chair?
no, Moses is very disingenuous to
Okay,
assume that the president of a country is supposed to know the salaries of every government official in public corporation. The president of the United States doesn't know. I don't think the president of the United States knows the salary of the how to call it, of all of the people that head in government agencies and institutions.
may I
Now,
just clarify
so
quickly?
no,
Okay.
so hold on.
Hmm.
And that was not even a priority. What was a priority was the padding, was the roads, was the electricity. So the women put those within the first 100 days, first 6 months. In the eighth month, they're now reviewing all government institutions. The salaries that exist at those agencies that we talk about were not created under Black Eye. They were created under Ellen and George Weah.
Alfonso,
In eight
quickly.
months of taking over, let me
Hmm.
finish. Actually, you have your point. You made
Yeah,
your
go ahead.
point. Just let me make my point, and
Yeah,
hopefully you get time to make your point later.
yeah.
The salaries were not created under Black Eyes. The salaries existed under Ellen Sirleaf and under George Weah. They were inherited 8 months ago by President Boakai. To somehow assume or argue that Boakai should have within 8 months already cut all of those salaries and done everything and fixed the country within
No,
8 months,
that's
I
not
think
what
it's
I'm saying.
disingenuous.
No,
And the president is not supposed to know everything. That's not the job of the president. And it wasn't an issue until it was reported. So now the president is asking the person who's in charge to take care of it and report to him, not just to say this is what they're making, but what can we do? Can we legally cut these salaries? Because, mind you, some of those corporations we're talking about were created by acts of the national legislature. And
mhm,
for some of them, compensation is built in by those laws that created them. So what Atta Massacre will be doing is not just saying, oh, LPRC, yeah, they made 10,000, or LTA, they made 15,000. They make 10,000, they make 15,000, but this is the law. As you said, this is the revenue they are generating into the country. This is the law that created them. Or the act of the legislature doesn't say they can make this money, it gives the president power, then the president will act. Mind you, when the president even removing some of those people, the laws that created those agencies prevented him legally from removing some of those people. So again, he's acting within a legal framework. So it shouldn't be a knee-jerk reaction, and we shouldn't just conclude that he should have known everything as soon as he took over, and he should have corrected everything. Let's go to the roads. The issue of the roads. LeBron
no,
Post spent 22 real quickly. LeBron Post spent $22 million on roads, and I'm going to road because Volcano mentioned it. And now people are bringing videos of. Let's go back to the speech the old man gave. I'm sorry, I'm coming across as
mhm.
defending the president and the government, but it's not wrong to do so. Go back to the speech he gave. In the first 100 days, no car will be stuck in the mud
And
on our major, no, no,
100 did not pass through the
no,
papel.
no, hold on, Volcano.
No,
On major highways.
but
No
forget
major highways. He
if
never said every road.
I'm
A lot of the videos that are circulating here are
Alfonso,
non-major highways.
I'm
But
just
let's
telling you, I'm helping you.
I'm coming. But let's even take all
100
of
days,
that together.
100 did not pass. We almost 5,000 days.
Exactly,
I'm helping
exactly.
you.
But
100 days.
hold on now. So if you expected that in the middle of a rainy season, no road would be muddy in Liberia within 8 months of an administration versus 12 years of a previous administration versus 6 years of a previous administration. I mean, this we're not talking within a vacuum here, guys. Let's compare that to what it was and what it is now. I think that's the best way to make comparisons and to see whether progress is being made or not. It's to compare from where you're coming from to where you are now, because we're not operating in a vacuum.
Okay, so if, forget it. Let me provide some clarification for Alfonso.
No,
We're
provide your
saying
own clarification, not for me. Provide for yourself, your listener.
okay, so Alfonso, what we're saying here is that I mean, it would be unwise, right, Volcano?
No. So
For
I see.
no, yeah, but this is what I'm saying, right?
See,
It
not
would be,
for me again, Alfonso.
yeah, it
You
would
want
be,
me to join you?
yeah, it would be unwise for anyone to think
Uh-huh.
that as president of the Republic of Liberia,
That you
the
should know.
president will know the detail in terms of salaries of everybody. It would be very unwise for anyone to say that because he doesn't worry about that. But the president has individuals that are functioning at high level at these institutions. Why do you have board chairman of all these institutions? You have the secretary to the board. You have the chair of the board, right? Don't they update the office of the president on what they are doing at those institutions? Do you think if you were president of the Republic of Liberia today, you will say my attention has been drawn? Doesn't that defeat the purpose of having your board chairman and
Blame
others?
the people who wrote the story.
Yeah,
Need a minister of information.
yeah.
Because it's
Your ministry of information is quoting
been
you, the president, as saying that your attention has been drawn to media report. Doesn't that defeat the purpose of having Moses Seni as chair of the board of directors at the LPRC, having Alfonso Jr. as chair of the board of directors at the NPA? Doesn't that defeat the purpose? Then why are we taking on the salaries? And you want
defeat the
us to
purpose,
argue
Moses.
and
It
no,
doesn't defeat the purpose.
and you want wait,
When the
Alfonso,
president meets with the chairman of the board of directors, I don't think he's
Alfonso,
asking for
no,
salaries. I think he's asking for service delivery for the health of
Alfonso,
the agency and all of those things.
Alfonso. Let me tell you. Anyone in leadership, when you meet, you want to have an insight in terms of what is happening at that entity. That's how it goes. You don't just sit and sip coffee and walk away. You ask a lot of probing questions. How much are you generating? The workforce. What is your workforce now? What needs to be done? What are the challenges? These are questions that you ask. That's what makes you what? The chief executive. You're not doing the physical work. You're sitting here talking to people and they're feeding you information. The high, happy structured institution, Alfonso.
Oh, I know that. I've
So
used that work. I work in
I'm
but it
yeah,
doesn't mean that the chief executive, the CEO of Facebook, knows the salaries of everybody that
I
works
said
with
it. I
Facebook.
said it that
And
it
when
would
the
be on that.
CEO, when the
Didn't
CEO
you
of
hear me
Facebook,
say?
when the
Didn't
CEO
you
of
hear me
Facebook
say that it would be
meet with the
unwise for
director,
anyone?
he doesn't go into the nitty gritty of how much this person make. That's not when
No,
the president
they,
meets with the board directors. That's
that's
not
what
the
I said.
question the president is
Oh my
asking.
God.
The president is asking for the major things, Moses.
They
I
say
don't think the president, I don't think the
so. You
CEO of the
so are
company
you
knows.
no
I don't think the
Alfonso?
CEO of your company knows your salary.
let
Does
me
your CEO know your salary? Does
let,
your CEO know your salary, Moses?
Listen,
The
let me
CEO of your company, does he or she know your salary?
okay. Let me answer that
Moses,
question.
Moses.
Yeah.
I think we dwell on it. We got to go to the
No,
last.
yeah,
I mean,
let me answer the main question, right? I beg you, Alfonso,
CEO,
Volcano.
the CEO,
Let me answer the question here for this man.
CEO know your salary.
The only time the CEO will worry about how much I earn if something raises concern. Yeah,
Precisely. This is what
listen,
happened.
allow me.
Something
Let me
raised
speak.
concern, and the old man's concerned now.
Yeah. So what I'm
But
saying,
break your own neck. Go ahead.
yeah. So what I'm saying is that if something raises concern, it comes to the level of the CEO. The CEO will say, "But what is this gentleman? Oh, it's Mr. Sandy. He's a graduate temple. He has several years of clinical experience in this business. Okay, who is the director of that department? The talent director. Director, what's the issue with this guy? In fact, how much does he earn? And they will let him know how much this guy earns. He's not going to say, based on media report, this man, we are concerned about his salary. No,
So
he
Moses,
will talk to people to give him the information. Yeah.
Moses, you just defeated your own
No,
argument.
I did not. I
Let's
provided
move on.
information.
Let's move on.
Alfonso, let me lay it to rest.
Yeah.
I think the inflammatory or inflammation in the statement by the Deputy Minister for Information for Public Affairs was wrongly written. Even if the public media had talked
Yeah,
about
what the
it,
man wrote.
it could have been written differently. That's why I'm saying,
Yeah,
look, my brother, we work for some of the greatest organizations in the world. That's why you have communication strategists. What the language tune going to be and what inflammation is going to create, you need to pay attention how that language is written before you
true.
throw out there. But according to media reports,
Yeah,
President now is a lamb.
yeah. Come on, now
It,
he got all the board people sitting there for.
it takes away, it takes away the credit for the president's office.
Yeah,
It takes away credit for the Ministry of Information. How can you write a story and give credit to the public and leave yourself undone? In a business of service, you got to know how you write that kind of story. So the fact that he read it that way, you are right, Moses. It makes the president not aware of what's happening. And these are
yeah,
high
government.
salary paying positions.
Yes,
So he must have some kind of inclination, Alfonso, that these things are happening. Because
yeah,
let me say this to you, Alfonso. Joseph Yuma Boyka served 12 years as vice president.
yeah.
He sat on the sideline for 6 years. He measured. We asked President Boyka time immemorial here in the issues room. He said there was no leadership in the country.
He said it many times.
So when you take claim to be the expert leader, then a lot is expected of you, my brother. So when your Ministry of Information is writing a story and saying that your attention now is drawn by,
Why in the press?
but let's assume that even the media irresponsibly wrote the story with no facts that these salaries are so astronomical as presented.
Yeah.
And you go off of that, Alfonso, come on now.
So, Volcano, let me ask you a question. What's wrong with the leader of a country or the leader of an organization responding to cries from the public, from the people that he or she runs? What's wrong with that?
No, I'm talking about media reporting. You know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, but no, yes. So, what's wrong with the president? What's wrong with the president reacting to what the public sees or says?
So
Is there anything wrong with that?
Volcano.
The president is leader of the people. When the people speak and cry, the president responds to them. And the president say, I hear your cries. What's wrong with that?
No, we want the president to be proactive but not reactive.
The president will never, there's no human being on earth who will be proactive and know everything on earth. You don't
No,
know
no,
that
I'm not.
either. You
No,
don't
I'm
know
not.
that,
No, I'm
Moses.
not saying that
So
everybody.
let's not
I'm
claim
not
that.
saying that the president.
Let's not make arguments that the people are making in the street. Let's do a little more. Let's
No,
go deep.
Alfonso.
Let's not just speak up because there's people in the street that are saying it.
No,
Because when we do that, we undercut ourselves.
No,
The fact of the matter is, we should
Alfonso, you're
present the
wrong,
facts and the truth to people and not just do it because other people are doing it. We
No,
do it
but-
on the issue of the roads. We do it. The president is not supposed to know everything. There's no way the
But
president
nobody is saying
will
that.
know everybody's salary. That's your argument is the board of directors should have told the president ever
Yeah,
since
man.
the president shouldn't react to media report. That's your argument, Moses, which is wrong.
let's come back to
Go ahead, Volcano.
Alfonso, whether the president shouldn't listen to the crowd of the people. That's not what I said.
No,
I'm saying that right now, everything is almost inflammatory. Everything is almost weaponized. So when the Ministry of Information receives information out there, they don't just grab it and use it as the yardstick that alerts the president. That's the point I'm making. That's all I'm saying. Because the uptake around it is that the president doesn't know what's happening. That's what I'm saying.
Government.
And you can disagree.
No, he doesn't know. I agree. He doesn't know. He doesn't have to know everything. That's what I'm saying.
No, but
the president did
no,
not
but
know.
man, you lay
president's
emphasis on something
attention-
that we are not seeing. We're not
The
seeing that
president's
president should know
attention was
everything.
drawn to something.
Volcano,
What's
is that
wrong
what
with
we
that?
say? Are we
What's
saying that
wrong
the
with the
president should
president
know everything?
Moses,
Absolutely
what's
not.
wrong with the president not knowing the salaries of people at LPRC and what? What's wrong? Is there something wrong with that?
But man, I think that's strange.
Okay.
First of all, putting the people there. First of all, when you're appointing people,
Yeah,
hold on,
you
hold on,
yeah.
Moses. When you're appointing people, You don't just get a job. You need to know
Yeah.
the salary. You need to have a term of reference. You need to know the job description that you're giving them and what expected of them to be to perform. Then to go to the confirmation hearing. So the salary is enshrined in that document you're giving them. That's
So
what
so
I'm talking
so your argument, Volcano, is that the
he,
president
he
knew
said,
the salary or should have known the salary of all of those people.
yeah,
Is that your argument?
especially the people, the key people we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
this
So
Not
he's
not per
hold
individual, but for the position, the
mm,
president should have an
the
idea.
president supposed to know the salary of the
on.
position of commissioner, all the commissioners in the country, or all public corporations, all the deputies.
I want
Is that your argument?
yo, you want them up. Alfonso Yenu, if I'm the one hiring at the will and pleasure of me, I
Yeah.
will hire you and I don't tell you your salary.
So the president doesn't even hire and tell people salary. A lot of those salaries at those institutions, I'm coming. A lot of those salaries at those institutions.
I ain't being correct. So the
No,
president will not. So the president will just give people job.
if I'm president of
And then
Liberia, when I'm president, hopefully I become, when I'm president of the Republic of
Yeah,
Liberia,
my man, I thought it was minister.
I'm not going to occupy myself unless something happens, as Moses said. That's when his CEO comes in and say, how much are you making? I will not occupy myself with memorizing and knowing the salaries of everybody I hire in government. No, that would not be my priority.
Yeah, but there
I'm
are
not saying that. Look.
yeah
Okay.
there
Let's
are
just
key positions that you have an idea of.
Moses, I feel it way. Send
Yeah.
the president just giving jobs. He know what they're gonna pay. Some people when they come back to him and say they jump.
Because some of those salaries are set by the acts of legislature. Some of those
Absolutely.
salaries are
So
set
the one we say
some
that
of those
you're
salaries
supposed
are
to
set by
know.
the
So how
board of
do you fight
directors.
corruption now if you don't know the
If
salary
you
you
don't
hire
know.
somebody for?
So why how is salary corruption?
Oh,
They're two
but
different
man,
things.
the disparity, you don't see corruption there?
Hold on, Moses, hold on. Why then they drew his attention? Why did they
Yeah.
drew his attention that he must ask the SOE or state enterprise man Adam
Eh,
Master to go
yeah,
check on
to go investigate.
the salary
Because
draw no
I mean, no, the reason it drew his attention is two things. One, the salaries are high.
But I see
We
them
also
talking.
should know, therefore, what's the productivity of those corporations? Are they just drawing from other agencies or from the budget? Are they generating money that they're paying out?
I,
Those are the questions that
also,
should
I
be
want to know
answered.
the
But
president.
for us to sit here and argue that the president is not in charge, the
No,
president is slow, the president is
no,
weak because
First
he don't know the
thing,
salaries of LTA commissioners,
no.
I don't think
nobody
we're
said
making a strong argument at all.
nobody
No.
saying that. Nobody
We're
said
not we're
nobody.
not saying that the
Is,
president should
Moses,
memorize. Yeah.
hold on. Is the president one appointing town chiefs?
No. So I don't know what Thomas talking
Yes,
about.
yes.
No, the president doesn't appoint town
Stop
chiefs.
it, man.
Who appoints them?
Town chiefs are elected by their own people at the chieftain
Moses.
at the
When
chieftain's
the last
lodge.
time you heard of a town chief election, my brother?
Yeah, man. You go in one little village.
That's what
You go
Moses,
in
when
one
the
little. The
last time you
president will
heard of
appoint.
a town chief election? The Constitution
No,
says the
the
Constitution
president
and the Constitution and the election law said they should be elected. But when the
town chief.
last time you heard of any election?
but who have
When the
Town
last time
chief.
you heard of the election commission running election for a town chief?
okay, let's
I
wait.
need a kind of chair, but that is
Moses,
strange.
They are appointed. They have been appointed just like mayors and everybody for the past several decades
let's stop it.
because we haven't had elections for them.
But have we seen the appointment yet on the executive mansion website?
Yeah, I've been saying about
Hold
the
on,
appointment of town chief. Oh.
Moses. Have we seen the appointment of town chiefs on the
Yeah,
executive?
Pastor, can you
I
make
have
reference to
not
that?
looked for the appointment of
Oh,
town chiefs.
Oh
okay,
no,
That's
but
not
you
one of the things.
justifying it.
That's not one of the things that interests me.
so that was
No, but you
And I don't seek
justify it.
and I don't seek to know everything either, because it's not important to me who a town chief of Moses Village is. Moses should be concerned with that, not me. Why should I know?
No,
Who
that
is
you
town chief?
justify.
Let Moses go to his village.
Moses,
Let Moses go to his villagers and ask them. That's not my job.
Moses, gentlemen,
Yeah,
is the one. Last thing
yeah,
we're gonna talk about. Yeah, hold on.
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, I bounce back and forth.
No, we're bouncing back to
But yeah, what it is now. Talk about it. Nathaniel McGill stuff and let's wrap up so we can go to memory lane. What type of country is this?
Yeah, quickly.
They
Man,
all-
I beg you, man. Let me just say in 1 minute the situation at the Ministry of Information.
Okay, go ahead.
Volcano, you are in leadership. and you work in a structured environment, like most people, like us who work in structured environment, anything that has to do with employment is considered confidential. It is so primitive to have heard on Spoon that the CSA conducted what they call an audit of employees to determine who was reporting to work, who was not reporting to work. They compile a report and they list the individuals that they had concern about. And what did they do, Volcano? They posted the names of those people on a bulletin board. You can't do that. Volcano Shelton should have nothing to do with my status as an employee of a company. It's confidential. If you have concern that I am not coming to work,
We got hit by
you
law,
invite
whatever.
me.
My gift.
No, but I mean our people, my man. These are
No,
educated
Moses, I
people.
disagree. Your employment status at an agency is not confidential
It is. Oh
information.
man,
No, it is
Alphonso.
not.
No, Alfonso,
Moses,
no man. What you talking
Moses,
about? When you get
Moses.
suspended from your job, your employer tell everybody that this
No,
man
no,
been
you
suspended.
said no, no, no. That's not what you said. The CSA did search and trying to
Yeah.
establish who works there
Who,
and who
who, yeah.
doesn't work there, and
And
they
they put
posted a
everybody
list,
name on the
and they
bulletin
posted
board.
a list to see who works there and who doesn't work there. Now,
Yeah.
the first thing
That's a
CSA
violation.
of what?
It's a violation of the privacy of those people.
It's a privacy to work at a
Yeah.
ministry, government
The
agency.
status,
It's a privacy.
your employment status is confidential.
But what list they posted? What?
But that's what I was saying. I said they did an audit.
Yes.
Let me say they did an audit
Uh-huh.
and they came out with a finding from the audit.
Yes.
They say, oh, Moses Seni name is listed, but Moses Seni did not show up to work for the last 4 months.
Hmm.
It's nobody's business in our at that Ministry of Information to know whether Moses Seni was reporting to work or not. It is between Moses Seni and the Human Resource Department.
So it's
The
Moses
right
Sandy,
letter,
an actual
give me a chance.
employee.
Wait, give me a chance.
Yeah.
They gave Moses. They should write Moses Sandy a formal letter.
Hmm.
That hey, Moses Sandy, we see your name on our payroll,
Hmm.
but you have never been at this ministry for this length of time. As a result, you have been terminated.
Hmm.
We consider you terminated as of this day. They
Hmm.
send out letter to whatever address that Moses Sandy has on the file.
Hmm.
But you don't put the man name up.
So,
And somebody coming from Jamaica Road and come and read my name. Oh, my man, your pa lost his job. Oh,
so Moses,
isn't that a violation?
I think there's another element that you are missing.
Where's the
It,
element?
Thank you. In the process of finding out whether there are ghost names on salary
Mm-hmm,
or non-ghost names or non-performing people on the list,
mm-hmm,
the CSA acted against that background.
mm-hmm.
Is Moses Sandy an actual employee, or was the name Moses Sandy Jet added on this list so the deputy minister can put money in a packet?
Yeah.
So now we post a list as part of that process of establishing whether an actual employee called Moses Sandy actually existed. It's
No,
part of the process of verification. It's not to say
no,
we fire Moses Sandy today. Maybe
no.
that Moses Sandy, maybe they fired Nina on the top. Maybe they were not even real employee that ever came.
Yeah,
Maybe they will
so
see and say, "Oh no, we're not even in that. I was never." Maybe somebody will see and say, "Oh, I was never even hired at the Ministry of Information." So
look,
they were
Volcano,
just using my name for nothing or whatever. It's part of the process of identifying ghost names on payroll to see whether people added people names and the money was going to them and
mhm,
all of that, Moses. So
mhm,
as part of that, also the one of the things I don't want us to do is to throw out a blanket statement that all of those things are protected information because we don't even know what contracts they sign when they got hired. When you got your job, Moses, I'm sure you signed a contract with your employer. You might have waived certain rights. We don't know all of that. So let's not
so let
just
me explain to you.
absolutely
I'm
just say.
like in the state of Pennsylvania, in the state of New Jersey,
Mhm.
Pennsylvania, Delaware, uh, certain category of employees are
Mhm.
considered white. employees, your
I will.
employment
I
status
will.
at will, right?
I will. Yeah.
So we fall in that category,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
My employer is not going to come and put on the bulletin
Mm-hmm.
that Moses Cindy was hired today
Mm-hmm.
and he's an employee of will. No. Anything that has to do with Moses Cindy and his employment status,
Mm-hmm.
that is discussed with Moses Cindy, his supervisor, and the HR department.
So Liberia
This
say,
man is a
But,
program
but,
administrator.
no,
but
no,
That's how it goes.
Moses, stop this.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah.
This man say, at least employee ID will have helped the situation
Absolutely.
instead
You
of.
don't come and write people name and display them publicly.
But listen to Thomas Awaji. He said, "Niwa in the last sensor."
thank you,
You know,
Thomas. So
Mama
if we
Alfonso, you are an advocate for employees, Mama. You can
and that's
you
and
can't you
that's and
can't give
I'm
up for
quoting and
advocacy.
Moses, I'm quoting labor law to you because I am an advocate and a labor
Yeah.
practitioner. That's
So
what I
man,
learned. So what no.
go
When
ahead.
you work for the
Hmm.
government of Liberia,
Hmm.
and you don't go, and the government of Liberia said people did payroll padding and
Yeah.
thousands of people named on the payroll. We want to make sure whether they actually are human beings that are hired or the
Hmm.
director putting the money in his pocket.
Hmm.
Part of the process of determining that might require putting people names up.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes. So there's no violation there,
No,
Moses.
there is.
Okay, Moses. Let's not dwell on it.
Okay, so
Like,
yeah, the
hold on,
situation on my girl, right?
no, we can't go to it late now. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But listen, in the context of Liberia, I'm sure
Yeah.
civil service is operating within the confines of the Liberian labor law. So we can't argue and say we want to compare the American system to Liberian system. That's
No, my man, when you were at
no,
LBS, they never
no,
treated you like
no,
that.
no, no. Forget about LBL. This
No, you're not
no,
working.
no,
Did
no,
they put your name on bulletin board?
no, man, a different thing you're talking about here.
A
No, but we're
different
talking about
thing.
labor laws in Liberia now.
No, this is an
But
exercise.
why would they have put his name on bulletin board?
Hold
Or
on,
that he has been hired.
hold
And
on.
now
Oh,
what we do, everything will be in the
so,
public.
Man,
is
listen,
that what they did in this case, Moses?
In
man,
this situation, they said, oh, John Brown said he was working here, but we did an audit, and the audit showed that John Brown was not coming to work.
it's a process.
You are shaming.
But
You are shaming somebody.
and then
And
jump
you might not be even shaming somebody because that person might not exist.
How
Just
do
as
you
Mr.
know?
Awaji just said, his name was on list and he was not even there. So there might even be no human being that you're shaming. The only person you're shaming might be the minister who was stealing the money and put it in your
Yeah.
pocket.
Man, God, that's not.
those names.
Yeah, all you do in a situation like that, John, man, you say, look, we had 200 persons working here. We did an audit. The audit shows that actually the payroll should be
And then
what?
people say, who are
40
these
persons.
people?
No, you don't have to tell them. It is
Because we
none
have
of their business.
because we're in a process where people are seeing witch hunting, Moses. Let leaders
No, it's no,
we
my
can't
man.
continue to make comparison.
Not because you want to be transparent, then means that everything will be in the open. No, you don't do
But then
that.
what is transparent? Hey man,
Eh,
Moses,
Transparency doesn't mean that people privacy should be violated.
what is
No.
the transparency? It need to be in the open.
Oh no.
What is transparency?
No,
Hey man,
transparency say you should
hey man,
make public whatever you do, right?
they
But
were
that doesn't mean that the rights and the privacy of people should be violated. You know what it means to publish somebody's name in a newspaper?
a person
That
not,
they may will abuse your information, but he's no longer there.
but Moses, a person will not living by. Hey man,
How do you know the person not living?
but you don't see somebody come to say me Moses Sandy.
Yeah, the people say they're going to spoon tomorrow.
Go there. Then when they go to spoon, then they will eat with spoon.
Who going to spoon? The people whose name were
The
public.
affected employees, yes.
So yeah, they didn't go to school and argue that somehow, I was employed at Ministry of Information. I didn't go to work for 6 months and they fired me and they put my name up. So I came to sue.
I mean,
They didn't go make that argument.
then the show over. Yo,
Yo,
no.
man, no, man. The people they never treat our people fairly, man. You
Yo,
don't treat human beings like that.
Moses, my man. How you will shape their country now? 1 minute you on one side, another minute on the other side.
No, but I don't want. It's not fair, my man. The people
But
have the right to privacy.
you said transparency, then you said Not fair again.
No, transparency doesn't mean that you should violate the privacy of people. No.
Okay then. All right. So let's do memory lane.
Hmm.
Um,
What
before
type of country is it?
before whatever country is
But
this?
you didn't go to the Magyar
No, no, no,
segment.
but man, I
The
can't.
message no time. But we're talking about
Man
what
told the
type of
whole team.
country is it?
Man,
Must say on fire. And even where you had to do it, you're on
No.
fire.
So they are defending my people. The Ministry of Information did not treat our people fairly.
all
There's
right.
no need for
Forget
what
it
it
no
is.
further whether it's true or lie. So let's
Mm.
wait till they go to spoon. But anyway, welcome to the issues room tonight. Memory lane is written here by Dr. Manin Sumo and is a tribute to a fallen friend. A tribute to a fallen friend. Many times we miss the opportunity to tell others what they mean to us or to say what is on our hearts, with, or rather, whilst they are alive. Memory lane is a unique way to honor and pay tribute to the ones who have made a difference or have touched us in a special way. Macon Garway, I met in Monrovia in 1996 when he worked at the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, the UNHCR. From the day he laid his eyes on me, we clicked like good old friends. He was a senior staff. I was just a driver for a local NGO, but you treated me with equal respect. For this reason and more, I cry for you. View not my tears in vain, brother. I cry for you to let you know how much I cherished the respect you had for me. I cry for you. How I wish I could cry with you. I cry for you. I wish I could laugh with you. I cry for you. I wish I could talk with you. Oh, how I wish you were here. I still remember the discussion we had at the Walmart in Newcastle, Delaware. But why so soon? For many of us, you are a brother. To those of us alive, is there one thing you wish you could tell him now? I can imagine that. I can imagine rather that moment, or by yourself calling for help, or you never had the chance to call for help. Behold, many of us were away drinking wine and chasing our dreams at places of work, and while then you sailed silently on the other shore. But today, we all come together to drink from the waters of sorrow. And as we drink from the waters of sorrow, we shed tears of river. This river is hidden from the rest of the world. Tears drip down from my chin and fall into an endless flow of liquid love. This river sparkles with memories, love, and laughter you shared. These tears are called Macon. Mr. Gawe, Macon, the general, you see, I've called you 3 times and no answer. But one thing is sure, we shall meet on the other side of the shore where flows the river of everlasting peace and love. Rest on, brother. And this is a tribute here to a fallen brother, Macon Gawe, who passed away last Thursday uh, in Delaware. And it's written here by a friend, Manin Sumo, a contributor to the Issues Room. Gentlemen,
Yeah. Akon was a friend. Very nice guy.
okay, so
Yeah.
whatever country is this, the people doing the work, they put the people near on the bulletin, Moses can say the people there, shaming the people.
Shimmy viewer.
Whatever country is this, when the former president lecturing us about Crooked G.
People that try to ridicule people, you understand? They say they are clean, they're good, they're not corrupt. And these are the people going to jail and they still talking about other people. How you can be the best person in the world, you're the most honest person in the world, you're going to jail. And then they stay,
This guy,
yeah,
this guy is an embarrassment.
people that go
Hold
to
on,
jail,
hold on
they're the
now.
one
Wait a minute.
talking that way we corrupt.
Uh-huh.
But you see, sometimes those that voice out, they're corrupt. You know what I'm saying? Somebody want to now save their life because they're going to the dodger of cockroach. You understand? You understand? All the time. What Ignoramus, Macadus, when I say the brother just say, people that try to ridicule people.
Yeah. Hey, Chaji.
On some to say Paco.
Ignoranus. Going to a crocorish is
There you go. You know, yeah.
crocorish.
So, yeah.
I-
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Instead of
Chaji boy.
those for red, take trouble for John. We are.
I know you were talking about.
Yeah, like that's ten you are messing with.
But what type of country is this? Alfonso and Moses.
Yeah.
We take one major mineral or instrument to do building in the country and give it to an Indian man. Seti's brothers
Yeah.
make steel rod exclusively as the only importer and manufacturer of the material. And we said we want to develop our country. And these people, every day they change the price of the steel rod, giving no Liberian opportunities to import steel rod in the country, Lebanese or any other people, only them. And these steel rods are so substandard because they're manufacturing most of them from our scrap material, all the old metal and cars that people take from the dumper and carry to them. And that's what they're refurbishing to make steel rod in the country and sell for an arm and a leg. What type of country is
What
this?
type of country is this that will give one Indian man that power to control the economy? No other person can import. How do you expand the market? What
Last,
type of country is this?
last week, the builder gave an estimate. The guy goes there yesterday, Monday, to go buy the things. The man
Yeah.
said $24 last press, $16 last press, $16
Hey, man.
last press, 14. And the steel rod, the sizes, they shrunk it. Even it's not the right size.
Wow.
What type of country is this?
What type of country
I
is
mean,
this?
for that. Can
You
you
gotta
hear me?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You commerce minister, what happening over there? Why is SETI is the only importer and manufacturer of steel rod in the country, man? Come on now. How are we going to develop the country?
Yeah. How do you expand your economy? No competition? No.
Fixed price, any meaning, anyhow.
Yeah. The
And he
exploitation.
got branches all over the place, and all the other businesses must buy from him.
Wow.
What was he giving monopoly?
Yeah,
Yes.
the man has monopoly. Yeah. He's the sole producer of steel rod in the country.
But man, I don't think the country going anywhere, man. So there, I just decided to say it, man, for once, man.
But man, I think we're talking here, Jen.
Of course, man.
You know,
What
we
type
don't
of
enforce the laws of the country. We put ourselves first.
yeah?
How do you take the market that belongs to the country and give it to one man?
Oh man, an important aspect of the economy. People
Yeah.
want to build.
Yeah.
People want to build. The ball called me yesterday and called the steel rod price. Man, I just sat because what you already budget your budget for,
Yeah, then going beyond that again.
and then the steel rod takes an exploration.
Yeah,
What type of country is this?
type of country.
What type of country is this, Thomas Awaji say? I don't know what to say anymore. The man has run out of thoughts.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a man in America, but he's in the census in Liberia?
Yeah. How did that happen, Thomas? Somebody put Thomas in the census. Oh.
Thomas need to. Somebody we need to investigate, or maybe somebody needs to you, my man.
Somebody put Thomas in the census, man.
In the 5.2 million people. Also.
Whatever country is this in America, but you in the census.
What type of country is this? Emmanuel Jackson, the only Liberian-owned rubber company, satellite was acquired by a foreigner, Jetty.
Yeah, Jetty bought it again.
Oh. That's
Yeah.
employment for 150 Indians.
Yeah.
Because the other in India no job, he gonna bring all his people.
Yeah.
Then the labor ministry gonna put people on the water. Some of them will work for months with no work permit. I mean, how we gonna get anywhere, Alfonso?
How you gonna protect your ordinary Liberians when you bring in all the guys from India and they bribe their way through other they drink the city, menial jobs like your people, taking jobs from your people, and they say they are what? Expatriates. What special idea are they bringing, or did they bring?
Yeah. So legally, it's not supposed to happen. The law explicitly says that
Yeah,
all the jobs in the country,
for our people.
Liberians should have preference, except
Yeah,
we don't have a trained Liberian to do the job. Then you bring foreigners. So all the jobs.
What type of country is this? Jetty controls rubber and
Still
see
business.
business.
not Jetty doing Jetty. The steel that SETI. They got the name almost similar as Jetty and SETI.
Oh,
So SETI that SETHI.
and another Indian guy, right?
Yeah.
So these two people are Indians, right?
Oh, they are Indians.
Wow.
They tie that a big hitter. They wrap it around.
Yeah, but how can
Tell them,
these two guys will just control the nation's economy like that, my man?
look at whatever country is this, Jetty now becomes a pellet man to own salad rubber.
Well, that's small. You gotta go to your rubber company for your fellow people together. You're gonna take.
So I think Jetty is doing value added. So that's kind of good idea.
Cool.
So he's also producing, rubber materials in the country. So he's not just making the farm; he's producing stuff as well.
Nobody won't funny. Whatever country is this, Jetty now becomes a pellet man to own salad rubber. But
maybe that man can speak pellet more than some pellet people say.
Of course.
But wow, who manage you? Mommy, when I look back on this country since 1979, 80 to now, I say, was it necessary for us to do this to ourselves?
They destroy the people's lives for nothing, man.
What type of country is this that can get it right? All your friends, they have similar situation. Look at them. Look at Ghana. Look at even Equatorial Guinea. Look at Rwanda. But next door, Sierra Leone said they got better roads than us. What type of country is this, man?
Yeah. But the man's minister of finance, he get over 20 houses.
Then you fly all over the world coming back with empty hand.
Yeah.
Hey, no. Hey,
yeah. But Volcano, you got a map picture playing checker?
Yeah, I give up, my man.
Hey, but me put that checker there, Baba. Let people see the map playing checker, Baba.
Yeah, I check out the map playing chess.
Oh, that chess you were playing?
Yeah,
my man. Let people see the former minister playing chess, Baba. I beg you, my man. Let people see the.
You know what nothing doing.
Yeah.
Whoa,
yeah. But man, you see what the man was saying now, my man?
Yeah. Learn how to play Scrabble and perfect it.
Yeah, the man was bored, my man.
Bored.
You playing serious chess, oh?
Yeah.
Damn. But Metro has really changed, my man.
I'm playing chess.
Yeah, my man. Yeah, my man. Let's see our man playing chess, man.
Yeah, man.
Now, beg you, man. Let people see the man playing chess, man.
You'll find the man playing chess, but you.
I sent it to the TR room. Or you want me to resend it?
I'm looking for the man playing chess, but no.
Yeah, I got it, man. I sent it to you.
Is it in the rendezvous?
Yeah. I'm playing chess.
Not in the TR. Is it in the rendezvous?
Okay, let me check quickly. I got it ready. I come and send it there. Sammy 12. Man, please see what game, man.
Man, I see a Carlos Gray. I gave up. Depleted, in just weeks, my man.
Man broke, my man. Man broke by. It's a rendezvous.
Hold on, man. But let's go for our man Gray, man. Yeah, I don't see Gray one more time. Greg can just look like this, but
Yeah, man. You see the man growing afro, man.
that's not what make Greg can just look like this, but
Yeah.
look at Greg, but look at Greg.
Hey, great, my man. Great.
I've got him, my man.
Yeah, look at the bomb, man. Get a yow.
Hey, man. Hey, Greg, but
Hey, great, my man. Great, my man. Things just change on you like that, my man.
I said the guy that said go Colasco Raya,
No.
and
Oh, yeah, that's Sego. Yeah, that Colasco.
I Colasco, yeah.
That Colasco there behind Koji.
Hey, Allah.
Yeah. Yeah, Adam, man. Just going up and down, man. Yeah, we will be, man.
But look at Greg, but
Look at great, man.
Great any Greg, oh. Hey, Greg, but
Hey, great, man.
not easy, my man.
Man, I can catch up with him, man. The other boy, I'm fighting to come back, my man. They can't believe it, my man.
My, okay.
Yeah.
You said something, yeah, but
Yeah,
No,
you
no,
saw
no.
it.
Yeah, no,
You-
no. The animal then trying to fight, but anyway.
Yeah, you saw it?
no,
What you
So
looking
whenever-
for? Two playing chess?
Yeah, I said the thing to run over.
I may look for it.
wonderful.
Yeah, right there.
Hold on.
You're way up there. Let the people see the former finance minister playing chess, man.
But to said the game playing ever to win it. The way he's
I mean, you're trying to buy time, man.
yes.
I mean, no way, man, to just wake up, whole day, you just walking around, my man. Hey, man, please see your chairs, my man. Hey, Minister 12, my man. Damn.
I also sent it to you in WhatsApp.
Hey man,
Oh,
man.
okay. You see it, yeah.
Damn.
let me
Every-
check.
The man change, oh. So we are looking at the team for law. He said, Maggie, you better move money from your mouth. He's talking about, say, I don't want you to put people. You telling me, you telling the people, say, I don't want, I told you to create.
So listen,
Payroll.
listen. It said Ghana removed 7
Goes me.
ghost names, and they created an ID for civil servant, and every 3 months they have to verify in person.
Oh, wow.
Flomo Livingston.
From
Emmanuel Jackson says, "What type of country is this? The president is all trying to bring private sector investors and alterations of documents taking place in the legislature and discussion about increasing money captain's salary.
Oh, wow.
Electricity is rational. No man,
What country is this?
what country is this?
What type of country is this? Man, please see your game, oh.
Yeah, the man thinking.
Yeah, I ain't know how the ball could play the game, my man.
You know how to move that. Okay, so he oh wait a minute, wait, something not right here. Or somebody queen dial.
That was that.
To a queen die.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that to a queen. I think I queen right here. They think that queen.
Oh, the game they playing?
King, yeah.
Man, paying serious attention to that game, oh.
So a queen died. The guy killed a queen. And I think the trader queen for queen. Yeah, the guy queen here too.
Baku?
Yeah. So the trader queen for queen. So the man ate 1 pawn and 1 queen from Toy.
Baku?
And then Toy ate a guy queen and a pawn right there.
Yeah.
So the game equal. So that strategy now.
Yeah. But this is what we talk about. We say in life, there's nothing called permanency. Everything is vanity. Just the other day, you think Samuel 12 will be sitting with this gentleman playing chess? Of course not.
Man got free time, my man. Man got free. But gentlemen, it's past 9. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great show, man. It was. We have fun. Enjoy your evening.
My people, y'all thank you. Y'all thank you. We'll be back here Friday by the grace of God. Alfonso?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it was a good show, guys. Thank you. Yep, the
Mm.
debate and the discussions were great. We
Yeah.
also had a good crowd tonight, so that's also good. Yeah.
Yeah, my man. People like the show about us.
Thanks to everyone. We'll be back here again Friday. Same
By
time.
God's
same
grace,
time.
yeah.
God's
Okay.
willing. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye bye. Enjoy.